people? It's me, the third wheel, Rick Serrano the third from the Wrestling POV podcast. And do I have something special for you? Celebrity video messages. You can request a video message from a celebrity for a personal connection, a shout out for a birthday gift, a wedding gift, a Christmas gift, a Valentine's Day gift, any kind of gift. You get a celebrity to send you a video message. Choose from hundreds of celebrities. Enter the details you want the celebrity to mention, and you get to pay safely and securely with PayPal or any debit card or credit card. You will receive an email with your video and downloadable links as soon as the celebrity recorded your video. Most videos take between 2 days or 2 weeks to complete. The best part is a percentage of the proceeds go to charity. Get video messages from celebrities like the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, Kurt Angle, Jake the Snake Roberts, Austin Aries, Booker T. Tell me you didn't just say that. Oh, I did. Rob Van Dam, Mick Foley, DDP, and other celebrities from Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, The Walking Dead, Star Trek, Star Wars, the UFC, NFL, NBA, TV stars, movie stars, musicians, and more. Just click the link below this video and you will get a celebrity to send you a personal message today. And don't forget to check out the Wrestling POV podcast for new episodes every Saturday on iTunes, YouTube, and Podbean for free.
That is not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Warning, wrestling POV's content may contain language that is not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Warning, wrestling POV's content may contain language that is not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Warning, wrestling POV's content may contain language that is not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, here's your headline.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Wrestling POV. I am your host, Tony Diaz, along with Mimi Goody.
Shalom.
On the third wheel, Rick Serrano the third, Ricky Ticky Bobby Wobbin. And our intern, Miguel Cole.
Oh yeah, so I get the regular intro, right?
That's all you get. Hey, after last week's show, we gave you a lot of responsibilities, Miguel.
Hi, Miguel. How are you doing?
Plus, you should be happy to meet Mimi Goody's here.
Mimi Goody's back. Oh yeah, I'm really excited.
Oh, damn.
Oh, man. He's already starting this shit. All right, we have a huge show today. We have the pay-per-view points game, No Mercy. That's this weekend. Will we have a new champion? Will Elio be remaining champion?
Ooh.
He's had it for a long damn time, you know.
I'm saying.
It's been a while.
He hasn't
That's what
talked
I'm
any
saying.
smack or nothing.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's right. That's true. He's a quiet champion.
He is a quiet
But
champion.
I am going to tell you this because I'm just going to say it right now, is that there's a new tag team forming. You'll hear it this weekend. That's all I'm going to say. You'll hear a new tag team forming this weekend. That's right. 38 lads, we're calling you out. All right?
Oh, damn. Calling
That's
you
right.
out,
Calling you out,
38
sucker butt.
lads.
All right. And then also we have Lucha Underground Cortez Castro will be joining us today. That's right. He will be joining us. We're just waiting. All right, but of course, before we go through all of that, we have to cover the wrestling news from around the world. Take it away, Rick.
All right, and before we do that, we got some emails with Miguel, with Email Miguel. Oh my goodness! So here we are. We have a question from Linda from California. Her question is, what does Miguel Cole wear when he sleeps? Oh my goodness, this is embarrassing. I actually don't say it, Miguel. Mr. Rick, she asked a question. Miguel, I swear to God, do not say it. Mr. Rick, I have to tell the people what I wear when I sleep. Linda wants to know. Linda, I wear nothing when I sleep. I sleep naked. It's so comfortable.
Fernando.
Oh man.
I just had a visual.
TMI.
Oh.
Oh,
Wow.
and I also sleep with Mr. Rick.
That's why Ricky Dicky didn't want to know.
With this
Ting ting.
oh no, let's not go there. Not ting ting, tic tac.
I don't know. You may be surprised, Tony. I was just saying. Oh, Mr. Rick
Miguel?
died.
Oh my God.
Be surprised with Miguel.
What the hell is going on with this show already?
I'm a medical professional. Let me see.
Miguel sometimes looks like Pinocchio after he tells a lie.
What the hell?
That's embarrassing. Okay, come on. Let's
This is getting way out of hand.
Next up, we have a comment
All
from
right.
Keith. Keith says that he loves last week's intense episode. To keep it up.
It was very, very intense.
Yeah.
Very intense. I mean, my whole thing was I wanted an explanation of you took a number 1 guy and dragged him down to number 8. What was the explanation? You know, and there wasn't any. And I was, you know, I was like, really? I mean, you can't go based on, because he's my favorite. You just can't do that, you know? So, yeah, it was intense. It was intense, so.
Yeah, I mean, look, Todd's not even here this week. You must have scared him away. All right, relax. Todd is celebrating the Jewish New Year.
It's a Jewish New Year.
Shalom, Mazel Tov, all that stuff.
Yep.
But he will be back next week.
He'll be back next week. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you guys can't even take a joke. You know what, Mr. Rick? I think it's time for some birthdays. Yahoo!
Wow, he took over your spot. He said, you know what? I'll take it.
You know what? Why don't you just tell the birthdays, Miguel? Oh my goodness. Okay, so this week, relax.
Wow.
It's the birthdays. Yahoo! All right, this week, Arn Anderson, AA, turns 59 years old.
No kidding. Wait, he's 59?
59.
Wow. You know what? I thought he was older.
Right? Exactly. I felt like he was a lot older, but the guy still looks good. He looks in good shape.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna.
I just love AA, man. I think he needs more acknowledgement for the way he wrestled.
Yes, I agree. I definitely.
One of the best of all time.
Absolutely.
Speaking of one of the best of all time, Greg the Hammer Valentine turns 66 years old.
Wow, no kidding. Really?
Yeah.
Greg the Hammer. I did a few shows with him. It's probably going to be things that I'm never going to tell on air. Not good experiences. I tell you that much. Not good.
Wow.
Not good. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I didn't get all Brooklyn there, Mimi. Jeepers. But anyway,
what's wrong with Brooklyn?
I didn't say shit about Brooklyn.
Oh, I thought so.
Shit, Bronx all the way.
Oh, I thought so.
Brooklyn.
Team Bronx. That's right.
Boy, you was born and raised in Brooklyn.
Next up, we got Matt Hardy, version 1, turns 43 years old.
No kidding.
Version 1.
Version, not virgin.
That's what I said.
Alright.
You know he's not a virgin.
Oh.
Jesus.
I mean, they could have been immaculate conception, you know.
Right? There's such things as a turkey baster.
Not back then.
Next up, we have the Drew Barrymore of WWE. Renee Young turns 32 years old.
No kidding. What, you call it a Drew Barrymore? Wow.
Next up, we have the Ernie to his Bert. Gerald Briscoe turns 71 years old.
No kidding. 71.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Wow.
Hey.
He doesn't look that old.
He doesn't. Good
He
kid.
looks like the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like one of those southern, those southern darlings, Like, all right, I'm here right now.
That's true, though.
Love me some
dollars.
Briscoe.
Yeah, that's right.
Last but not least, the most important birthday of the week, and probably the last time I'll mention his name for birthdays ever.
What?
All red, everything. Eva Marie turns 33.
Now, why did you go? She's no longer with the company.
Yeah.
She ain't doing nothing with wrestling.
She ain't no wrestler.
She ain't no wrestler.
She deserves to be there.
No.
Spank that.
Oh.
Probably did.
Yeah, expect that.
He probably did.
Nasty. Good
With that being
God.
said, it is now time for the wrestling news from around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, probably the saddest news of the week. Bobby the Brain Heenan passed away at the age of 73 years old. He had many health issues dating back to 2002 when he was diagnosed with throat cancer, and he also battled tongue cancer. There's no word on the cause of death, but I mean, this is one of the hardest moments I had as a wrestling fan to deal
Yeah,
with.
yeah. I have to say, I when the news broke out, I started watching a lot of Bobby Heenan's funniest moments, you can say, and and the reason why I'm bringing this out now is because of the text that you sent me during that Jinder Mahal bit, and Bobby was just as bad.
Oh, yeah, he was.
He was outrageous. I mean, he was calling women, like he did this one skit with this lady, and then he goes, "Oh, that's an awfully nice purse you got there," and she goes, "Oh, this old bag," and then he goes, "Yeah, you too." I'm like, I mean, he was known to be ruthless and not hold back his tongue, and it broke my heart to hear that, and I was like, bummer. But he was one of the best. I tell you, there's never going to be another Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Never.
Nope.
I mean, I think for me, my favorite. Go ahead, Mimi, interrupt me.
I just did. I think that was one of my favorite nephew, David. His favorite commentator, because he named himself Brooklyn Brain after Bobby's Brain.
Your nephew did?
Yes, my favorite nephew.
Oh, Jesus. Boy, she emphasis on the favorite part and nephew.
Well, my favorite Aunt Debbie used to always tell me, I remember sitting down with my favorite aunt, and my favorite aunt watched my favorite Royal Rumble of all time, the 1992 Royal Rumble, and that was my favorite Bobby the Heenan moment when he was in the corner of Ric Flair, and he's commentating on the Rumble, and he's like, "Yes, Rowdy, help him out, help Rick. You know what? It's not a skirt. It's a kilt. It's a kilt." And as soon as Roddy attacked him, it's a kilt. It's a kilt. I always do. It's just like things like that. And then after the celebration, it was just amazing. And after the Royal Rumble, my Aunt Debbie, my favorite aunt, she took me and got me a Yoo-Hoo. And it's just like memories like that I had with my favorite Aunt Debbie that made the moments with Bobby the Brain that much more special. So rest in peace, Bobby. Again, greatest manager and greatest commentator of all time. That is all the wrestling news I have for this week.
All right, so on to rumors. This was a big one, and there was a bunch that I had, but there was this one that really stuck out, and I had to report it, being that we got a jam-packed show. Check this out. Paige has officially been cleared to return to the ring.
Yeah!
Now here's the rumor part of it. They're saying that when she returns, that she's going to be part of SmackDown Live. Already has a storyline ready to go for her return, but here's her biggest fear, is that the WWE is going to forgive and forget what Paige has done with this whole thing that's been going on about the past year or so, or a little less than a year with Alberto Del Rio, and him, and plus the sex tape that came out with her, and she's a little worried now.
And then they got her going into SmackDown, where
Xavier Woods is. Yeah, more like Wood.
Bingo!
Let's say Miguel Woods.
So, yeah.
Bummer.
All right, so Jesus Christ, this is like the most inappropriate show ever. Episode, my bad. But funny. All right.
That's not stupid.
It wasn't interesting.
Oh, that's true.
All right, so that's the rumor. Who knows? I mean, but it's good to have Paige back. I was wondering too when she was going to come back.
I hope she does, and she's gonna succeed.
I think so too. Like I said, they don't know exactly how the crowd is going to respond to her. Heel, baby.
Heel.
I had a conversation with my wife, and she was saying how, the crowd is going to get on her. I don't think so. I don't think the crowd is going to react that way. I think they're going to be good. I don't think they're going to cross that line. That's something, at first it was funny.
But, No, but wait. Here's my question, though. If she comes back, you're saying have her come back as a heel. You agree with that, Rick? No? But now I'm going to ask you. She comes back as a heel, isn't that going to be kind of, throwing rocks in glass houses, you know what I'm saying, with all the shit that she's been through? So bringing her back as a heel, they might say some inappropriate stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, I mean, you still...
But yeah, because right now on SmackDown, how many baby faces do you have on SmackDown?
Okay, all right, point it. All right, so that's all I got for rumors. What do you got for injury?
Other than nothing, I have nothing.
No kidding.
Nothing.
Seriously, yo? All right.
For reals.
For reals in the heels. I was trying to rhyme.
No,
and hills was the only thing I got.
You sound like one of those new rappers.
Oh, be quiet.
Making up words and stuff.
All right, let's go. Yeah, that's right. All right, let's go straight on to Raw Notes. All right, we're going to skip through this real fast because I just got word that Cortez Castro will be calling in a few. So let me run by this, and we'll get him on for the interview. All right, Nia Jax defeated Alexa Bliss. Ain't that some crazy shit? So after the match, Bliss, Sasha Banks, and returning Bayley teamed up to fight off Jax. Banks and Bayley then teamed up to beat up Bliss. Bayley was then added to the Raw Women's Championship match at No Mercy. What do you guys think about that before I even go further?
Preposterous!
It is preposterous. That is redunculous, man. Adding Bayley to the freaking No Mercy. Seriously? What did she earn to get back in there? And back in that. I went Rikini there. But seriously, there's none. None at all. Okay?
And Emma's not there.
Yeah. But I don't get it.
Word
to her. All right. Up next, it was the Raw Tag Team Champions. Seth and Dean. That's right. They faced off against Sheamus and Cesaro. And Luke. They faced the club too, didn't they? Didn't they face the club? My notes are messed up. My notes got messed up. Sorry. Anyway, Sheamus and Cesaro won, didn't they? Yeah, they did. All right, sounds good. We'll go over that more later. I got my notes mixed up. Bummer.
But to do that match again is ridiculous.
It is.
I mean, I said it. They're gonna just do a bunch of different mixes of this match, and then you don't even put the club in the title picture.
Yeah.
You have the club every week.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I guarantee you they're gonna interfere. Just a thought.
Oh yeah.
Pay-per-view points game later on. Just a thought.
We'll find out.
All right. So up next, it was Apollo Crews defeated Kurt Hawkins. Hawkins. I went Japanese. No. That was bad.
Oh, that's what happened to
Gender.
That's what it was. He called me Gender.
Gender heard our show.
Now, my thing is, real quick on this, I like the fact that Kurt Hawkins acknowledged the fact that he has a losing streak. I like that part. So, but with Apollo Crews, I don't know how I feel about that. Anyway, let's move on with the show, please. So, Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar threaten each other through satellite. I knew nothing was going to happen.
No pop.
Pre-recorded, by the way.
Oh yeah, it was pre-recorded, no doubt.
From Minnesota.
Yeah, from Minnesota. Wow, what's going on here? All right, so then up next, it was Roman Reigns cutting a promo on John Cena for not being on the show, which is true. John Cena, I think he was in China or something like that.
Yes, promoting the WWE, by the way.
Was he? Or was it for the movie?
His job. No, it was for WWE because Roman can't do his job.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. Right?
I agree.
Wow. Holy
When can I agree?
That's a first. That's a first.
Yeah.
And with John Cena.
And with John Cena, yeah. No, Domino's. John Cena sucks.
John Cena's the best in the world.
No, he's not. So now up next, it was Bray Wyatt defeated Dustin Rhodes. Not even Goldust. It was Dustin Rhodes. Of course, Finn Balor, they got their thing going this weekend. Neville defeated Grand Metalik. I thought he was going to take the mask off.
Yeah.
It was a little close there, you know what I'm saying?
I don't like that when they do that.
You don't like that?
I don't like when they try to rip people's masks off.
Why?
Because it's pisses.
Disrespectful. Come on.
It is disrespectful.
Alrighty then. My goodness. Holy shit.
That's like sacred.
Sacred.
In the wrestling world. In
Lucha
Lucha
world.
Imagine if they went Mimi's makeup on. Come on.
Exactly.
Right. Alrighty then. Late we go. Alright, so up next, Enzo tried to cut his promo, but he got brutalized by Braun Strowman. Yo, when he landed, I don't know if anybody caught on, but I guess the mic flew off first, and he landed right on the mic in the middle of his back. Man, that looked like it hurt.
It will be one of those things how I got into the ER.
Yeah.
Stuff up his
Yo,
butt.
he messed him up. And then, of course, Neville came out. He does his thing or whatever, and that was that. They got their
What's
match.
up with Neville now? That he just laughs?
Yeah. I know, right?
Like he's been smoking for 50 years.
He might be losing some teeth. It looks like he's losing teeth.
Yeah.
Right?
It does.
And then you got... But Enzo is the number one contender for the Cruiserweight title. Why not have Braun do this to Kurt Hawkins or Apollo Crews?
Exactly. That's true. And that's why I don't understand what they're doing with him sometimes, And it was because of this exact moment. It's like, wait a minute. Why would you do that when he's supposed to be the number one contender for the belt? Why? I don't get it.
Why?
I don't get it.
Why?
So, anyway, moving on. Actually, the main event. It was the 6-pack challenge. Jason Jordan, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas, and Elias Sampson. I'm still calling him Elias Sampson. I think that's a catchy name. Not Elias. Shut up, y'all.
He just went on country knee over there.
I know. What are you, in New Mexico or something?
Yeah, I know, right? So anyway, Kurt Angle originally made this a fatal 4-way to determine the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship, but The Miz suggested adding Curtis and Bo Dallas, which was, a good move, I think, on that angle. Of course, Jason Jordan won. I mean, do I have to go any further? Sorry. Maybe it was just wanted to cut me off to sing. But now my thing is this. I mean, did you guys like the result of Jason Jordan actually winning this? Why?
Because he sucked. Honestly, he don't want to be put out there like I'm being pushed because Kurt Angle's my father, but he's being pushed because Kurt Angle is his father.
No.
Yes.
I don't see it that way.
I see it that way.
I don't, Rick.
I see it as somebody who got his ass beat the last 2 weeks. And, I was all for Jason Jordan, but again, don't give him a title shot right away. I said this. And they gave him a title shot. It's ridiculous. I'm back on hating Jason Jordan. I hate you, Jason Jordan. I hate you.
Dang.
Just like, I hate him as much as Jason Jordan's real father probably hates him, because he's probably like, I'm your father, bro. You out there calling Kurt Angle your father. I'm your daddy.
Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy?
JJ, who's your daddy?
That's right. All right. I don't know. I agree, though. I think it's just way too early. Way too early. Way too early. I don't agree with it one bit.
You don't think it's Kurt Angle's, like, the angle that they... the angle that they're doing is, like, they're pushing him because,
the whole Kurt Angle
thing.
I don't know.
You
know what? I mean, with the other rumors that I was hearing about having Jason Jordan and Emma hook up, and all of a sudden having Jason Jordan have a little bit of a block on his shoulder because he's dating Emma, and Emma's only dating him because he's Kurt Angle's son, so she can get what she wants as far as a title pitch. I'd rather have seen that angle than this match coming up at No Mercy.
Yes, I agree.
Seriously.
I totally agree with that.
But to me, I think they're just Herb and Emma, number one. They just threw her in this match just so she can be the fall guy for it. My opinion. My point of view. So, all right. Actually, that was Cortez Castro on the phone. He's waiting, so we're going to take a quick pause, and then when we come back, we are going to have Lucha Underground's Cortez Castro coming at you. We'll be right back.
Lucha Underground!
Yo. This right here is former WWE World Tag Team Champion, Grandmaster Sexy, Brian Christopher. And when I'm going to listen to a podcast, I'm going to listen to the best. And if you want to listen to the best, you're going to tune in, listen to Tony and Rick at Wrestling POV Podcast. Yeah.
And we are back, and we are going to celebrate Lucha Underground's 100th episode with the very special guest from Lucha Underground, Cortez Castro. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Nice.
Now, Cortez, listen, I'm a huge fan of yours. You have been in Lucha Underground from the beginning. Can you tell me, how has Lucha Underground evolved from episode 1 to 100 in your eyes?
Okay, well, a little information here. I was actually the very first wrestler to sign a contract with Lucha Underground as well. So around the office personnel calls me number one because my employee number is 001. So I'm actually the one. I got seniority there, so I'm like Undertaker in the back. So.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean it's obviously it's grown and evolved into what many people call like the best wrestling show on television. And I a little bit biased, but I agree completely. For a lot of different reasons, I agree. Though I think that we are doing something different. Finally, wrestling fans are ready for something different. They're ready for, I don't know. I feel like we're taking the entertainment part to another level, more so than other places have, just because we are a television show. We're not necessarily a wrestling company. So we are entertainment first, and then pro wrestling almost second. Like,
oh wow,
not 100%, but I guess maybe there's more finer details with the entertainment part, meaning like the vignettes and the storylines and stuff like that, and the developing of the characters and stuff. We kind of try to take that to the next level, So it works there and stuff is kind of like, in my opinion, like taking that part of it to a whole nother level, and then they kind of just they give us some direction and stuff as far as when the matches come down to it. But but a lot of that is our own. It's kind of like let the wrestlers be the wrestlers, and then the creative team is creative, and they're creating.
Yeah.
And I feel that's our strong point. So it's evolved tremendously. I remember the first day. Actually, I remember Christopher DeJoseph and his writing team called me like maybe a month and a half before we went into shooting the show, and he was just kind of putting it out there like, we had this idea. They wanted me to be Son of Havoc originally.
Oh, wow.
So they called me and asked how I felt about wrestling under a mask, and everybody there, the writers all kind of agreed that I had great facials and I looked intense as far as like my, as wrestling as the Cuban crippler, Ricky Reyes. So they kind of wanted to continue to use that with the show. So they had asked me if I had any ideas or anything that I wanted to do without a mask, and I said yeah. I said actually, I've been thinking about changing my gear and my look. I had been kind of tossing it around in my head like for probably a good year. I just didn't really have a reason or a platform really to do it for any particular, reason or story or anything, you know what I mean? It was just, it would have just been me showing up to shows in different gear. And what I wanted was exactly what I'm wearing now, which is like the camo cargo pants tucked into my kick pads. And I just wanted to wear like the gloves, but I didn't want to be like flashy with it. I wanted it to be kind of like badass, like heelish, like, I didn't want it to look like I was getting lazy, because I think that when wrestlers do like shorts or pants or something that it look, I feel like they're kind of like giving up, like I don't really care, I'm just gonna wear whatever, and I didn't want that to be like, I wanted it to be meaningful and have a reason behind it. So this was kind of perfect for me. So I pitched the idea about the pants and stuff and the gloves. And I remember DJ told me, he goes, can you take a picture and email it to me? And I said, yeah. So I literally, told my wife, like, come on, let's go to the store. I want to grab these things. So we went and I bought everything, and then I took a picture and I emailed it to him, and he said, perfect, bring that. And I was like, nice. So I had a reason to change my look. So that, what I'm getting at is like the creative team, you know what I mean? Like they kind of like took what I wanted to do, and then they magnified it times 10. They took Cortez Castro, like, oh, okay, like they put him in the crew, a street thug, whatever, you know what I mean? And then season 2, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, you're an undercover cop the whole time. Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, no, like people are like, I remember going into season 2, we had a little viewing party while we were shooting, like the end of season 2, and we had like the first 4 episodes on brought to us by El Rey Network. That hey, check out the first month, what it's going to look like. And I didn't tell very many people in the back what I was doing exactly. We were just doing, we just do matches on the weekends. Every other weekend we shoot TV matches, but during the week everybody is brought in to LA to shoot their vignettes and their story, but not everyone knows what everyone's doing, because you're there at different hours, you're shooting at different times. Like I'm in LA at the same time, 3 or 4 other people are, and I don't even see them. You know what I mean? Unless I'm friends with them, and I'm like, hey, I'm here, or I talk to them during the weekends when we're shooting TV, and I say, well, when do you go home? When do you come back? So a lot of times we stay in the same hotel, but you're on set and everything is set up, like this is like huge production, so the whole set, everything is set up specifically for you, and it makes you feel, it really makes you feel really special. So it's a cool feeling, but so much detail goes into each character. Like we have the poster boys type of guys, on the roster and stuff, but everyone's character is special. Everybody has the main event. Everybody has a show-stealing moment. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, that was always DJ's idea with Lucha Underground, was that like I could main event, or Mundo would main event, or like just everyone. Sexy Starr main events. It brings everyone's value up. And then ultimately, at the end of the day, the whole show is valuable. Like we're only an hour, so it's like if you miss 15 minutes of it, you miss an important part of the show. You got to go back and watch it. So. That's what makes our show different. Again, people say, "Oh, it should be 2 hours. It should be year round." But I feel like that would be maybe too much. You know what I mean? Like look how mad people get when we go off the air. Like when we're off season, and they'll go back and show the old episodes, and people are like, "Well, when season 3? And they get all mad. And then when it comes on, they're like. It's like, oh, it's like a sign from God. They're like, yes, it's coming back, and I mean, that's what you want. We wanted to create something people wanted to see, and it's become what Lucha Underground has created is like a whole new style almost of wrestling. You know what I mean? Like you got, like I'm out there on the independents everywhere, and all of us are like, Phoenix and Pentagon, and Mundo's even out there more now. Like he wasn't doing, very much stuff before Lucha Underground, and then he caught that bug again, and then now he's everywhere, all over the world again. And so, I mean, it's kind of like, it's definitely done well for wrestling in general, like as a business, it's like another shot in the arm, it's evolved tremendously. I mean, anyone that's ever seen the first episode, like I was there, like the first episode, there was gaps in the seating, it wasn't all full. It was, crowd was kind of like still trying to figure out exactly what we were watching, but we were also still trying to figure out what we were creating. It was nothing, there was I think 13 wrestlers in the locker room our first weekend, our first, couple months, and it was a matter of what are you going to make this into? And ultimately everyone was there to make their own creation, and that's what Lucha Underground just became,
Right. So as far as the environment goes, I know it's a totally different environment than being in the indie scene. I know there has to been because it's generally almost like a movie miniseries, right?
Right, exactly.
So what's the environment like? I mean, was it, I don't want to say like a lot of cut and action, especially with the promos in the back. I know that's more in detail than what you see in WWE or in or Ring of Honor or TNA or whatever they're called nowadays. Seriously. And so what's that environment? Was that all difficult? Was that difficult for you to adjust than comparing it to like the indie scene, or was it easier for you?
Well, what do you mean, like the matches or?
Well, the matches and the the backstage vignettes and stuff like that. I mean, I know that was a lot of work getting into that stuff. So, I mean, did you have to really harness your acting skills? Yeah, definitely. Well, see, the thing is like with the shows, it's just business as usual. Like we've made the shows because we take two weeks on each day. So we do a month in a weekend. So we'll do like Saturday we'll start, I think 4:00, it'll be about an hour and a half, and then they'll take like a half-hour break, and then the audience will leave, go to like a lounge area, like VIP stuff, and then the band will play, so it's kind of like a party type of atmosphere, people drinking and eating food, and like the band's playing, and then they'll bring in the audience back, and then that'll be the second week, so it'll be another hour to hour and a half, and then so we do that Saturday and Sunday. So that was kind of like just a very organized independent show, you know what I mean? And we were pretty much on point with times and stuff like that, and I think it was good for the crowd because they got like a hot show, 4 to 5 matches, and then they got to just hang out, chill out, and then come back, and then it was like, another 4 or 5 matches. So even though it's kind
of like maybe 10 matches, but some of the matches are shorter, you know what I mean? Because like we can only fit in an hour. You know, I want to say on average like 3, maybe 4 matches. You know, and one of them is usually going to be pretty tight, like maybe 3-4 minutes. You know what I mean? Kind of just you know, already in the ring type of thing. Just get to it, get the point across because it's building to something. So in that sense, you had to learn. If you didn't understand how to do TV, you learned really quickly because not everybody is accustomed or wants to get that news of like, hey man, your match is 2 minutes, and literally it's 2 minutes, you know, and a typical independent wrestler would be like, well, I can't get all my stuff in 2 minutes, or I can't look like a star in 2 minutes. But the reality of it is, if you're only doing 2, there's a reason for that, you know, and it's going to gradually build. So for the guys that didn't understand that, they had to learn really quickly. And, you know, you just kind of, that's where the agents come in. And, you know, sometimes they're like your shrink or your psychiatrist, because it's like, you get mad, you know, you don't, you know, it's like frustrating. And, you know, you don't want to be that guy, but it does eat up at you after a while. You know, it's like I did season 3 for the most part. You know, I was just kind of like telling this story. So my matches were pretty much, you know, like the story was me just kind of getting beat up. And it wears on you. Like at first you're like, okay, you know, there is light at the end of this tunnel, and then you know, I come in and it's like, all right, you got Pentagon and he's gonna break your arm. All right. Okay, now you're going out with a broken arm, and Matanza's gonna destroy you. All right. Now you got Mil Muertes, and he's just gonna be Mil Muertes, and I'm like, all right. Oh, now you're debuting this new character, but it's against Cage, so Cage is gonna eat you. You know, it's like, all right. And then you're like, come on, man. Like, you know, when am I getting to that light? You know, so it takes time, but well, as far as like the vignettes and stuff like that, like that's just, I mean, it at first it's extremely overwhelming because it's straight up 100% Hollywood. Like you got 9 cameras shooting your face. You know, if you're in a room with just Dario, it's him. But behind him and around him are like 7 dudes with cameras and holding lights, and you know, and like the director's outside, and he's got a whole contraption set up from all different angles. He can see, you know, your left ear to your right ear and everything in between, and you know, and you got you know, the guy, you know, someone there with your script and feeding you lines, and it's insane. You know, it's like. You know, and then after a while you get kind of used to it, because I think what helps is you just kind of get to know the crew, and then in between takes you kind of joking, laughing, and then you lighten up a little bit. But at first you're completely, like, for me, everyone's looking at me, and I'm like, I'm more nervous in front of these 9 people than I am in front of 9,000. You know, like in the ring. So I'm like, and all I'm thinking is like, man, if I mess this up, we got to do this all over again, and everyone's looking at me. You know, and so. Yeah, it's tough. But it's such a great learning experience. Like, you know, I feel like if I were to go anywhere else and they put the camera in front of me, I could never be nervous anymore, because it's just like, oh yeah, I get it. You know. Now,
did that help you with your? Do you think you got, you know, that doing that part of it, the acting part of it? Do you think that translated in you doing your promos, like, you know, a little bit better? Like you said, you got more comfortable now, so. Did it help you with your promos in a way, or is that separate? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, oh, absolutely. Like you know, you can't. So, you know, for me at least, I took it as like, you know, taking my promos really, it helped bring me to another level, because now I'm looking at it from a different perspective. You know what I mean? I get to sit there and do a character where I'm strictly worried about these lines and getting this point across with my emotion, like I would in the ring, but without using physicality. You know what I mean? So like, you kind of tap into that emotional side, like facials, you know, how you deliver a line, you know, or how you say something, the way you say it, when to turn it up, like when to change gears, as far as, you know, stuff like that. So it really helps all aspects, because and then you can bring that into the ring as well, and you kind of do the same. So,
right.
I mean, it's I've done some promos for like local TV stuff, on independents out here, and I definitely feel more comfortable. And with the director and stuff, he's so cool about everything. Where he says, now would you say this line like this? And sometimes you're like, no, I wouldn't say these words, or I wouldn't say it in this order. And then he says, Kate, say it how you would say it, because we need you to say this, not, don't look at it as we need this character to say it. We need you to say it. How would you say it?
Okay.
So he's really cool with that. So, and then, in most places, 9 times out of 10, they're like, hey, can you shoot a promo? And it's like, yeah, okay, well, you're wrestling this guy, and whatever. So you kind of just have such freedom on independence. Like, okay, well, how can I make this really good? It's like, my heel, my face, and you kind of tap into those resources that you have past experiences with. So, I mean, yeah, it's definitely helped me. Like I feel like so much more comfortable. Like I feel like even if I did ramble on in a promo, I feel like I can like save myself, and not ramble off into something that's completely irrelevant. I can just bring it back and always have that comfort zone of like, all right, I'll just wrap it up now, because I'm more calm when it comes down to doing the promos. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought up the light at the end of the tunnel, because it looks like you're getting closer to that light, because the last time we saw you inside the temple, you beat Joey Ryan in a 5-0 street fight to win the Ancient Aztec Medallion to get into the 7-way Gift of the Gods match.
That was a good match, too.
Let me tell you about that street fight. That's how you put on a street fight,
Exactly.
The handcuffs busting you open, the SWAT team, a cop car.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you had a cavity search in the match. Like, what's like in your mind and for a match like that, especially against somebody like Joey Ryan?
Well, I mean, we knew that we were going to be the featured attraction match of that show. Whether we were last or not was completely irrelevant to us, because we knew that what we were going to do, that we were going to be the main event, the best match of the night. So going into that match, we had worked really, really hard. A lot of our hard work was done, in the vignette, like telling this story, developing this story with Joey for 2 years, really. And then for me, even before that, because everything I did in season 1 was to make me hated. So in season 2, it was a complete disbelief that I was a police officer, So for me, it was really a culmination of what almost 3 years worth of my work, So I went in there with the idea that I was going to just go out 100% all the way with everything, and with Joey, like, people want to always point out his character and his gimmick, and the gimmick that he does in the ring as if that's all he can do, and I felt like he went out there like he had something to prove too, maybe to some fans that maybe thought that he was only a gimmick, and so we went out there, just a couple of SoCal boys, just, wanted to just, steal the show and get the wrestling world talking about us, so that was the idea. And then they gave us all these toys to play with, and every time they brought something out for us, they were like, oh, we have this, do you want this? We didn't say no to nothing. Like, we were like, yes, put that here, yes, we'll figure it out, yes. And then we just started, we got there really early that day, and we just started like kind of bouncing ideas off, and then it kind of just snowballed. And before we knew it, we had everything pieced together. Both of us just wanted everything just needed to make sense. That was it. Like, I'm all for doing whatever in a match, but it has to make sense. Like, it has to, you have to be able to bring the realism and something realistic into every situation and every part of the match. That's how the fans stay engaged in what you're doing.
Exactly.
The second the crowd disengages because it's not real or it's not it's not something that they can relate to, that's when they say, oh, there was parts of the match I didn't like, or it was boring, or I didn't really care for that match. They can't really tell you why. They just know that they disengaged from the match for some reason. And that's how people say, yeah, I didn't really care for that match. Well, what didn't you? I don't know. I just didn't really like it. Because they don't know how to word it, and they just know the feeling. They can't really describe why that feeling came. And it's usually because, something odd happened, so we had a lot going on, and we just wanted everything to build, and everything head in the right direction. Everything had a reason, everything had its own place, and everything had a purpose,
Right.
and it's only to move forward, so, I thought we did a great job. We didn't have a whole lot of help from agents and stuff. They just kind of, don't get hurt,
Right.
So, I mean, and we asked, hey, there's a cop car. Yeah, first thing I said was okay, if someone doesn't take a rock bottom on this cop car, I'm burning this place down myself. So Joey's like, you want to do one? And I was like, yes. I was like, hit me with a rock bottom, because it just has to happen. There has to be a stunner at WrestleMania. There has to, these things have to happen. If there's a hood of a car, someone's got to take a rock bottom on it. So
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah. So we had basically the keys to the house, and can play with whatever we wanted to. So we just went wild, and we made sure that everything that they put money into, that we used, smashed, broke, or busted over our heads. So.
Yeah, well, you guys definitely tore the house down. Now, I have one more question for you. What are your thoughts on the whole Sexy Starr Rosemary armbar incident? Where do you stand on that?
Okay, so here's the thing. I know Sexy, and there's a couple. You have to take. There's always three sides to a story.
Yep.
Of course.
One,
Yep.
Rosemary's the sexy side, and then the truth.
Right.
So the idea is, whether it was a work or not is completely, whatever. But if this was legit and it happened, I'm sure that there was a reason for it. I feel like there's way more to the story than what was being told.
Yep.
And I think, in all honesty, I feel like this more than anything, that social media just blew it all out of proportion so quickly, and I just feel like it got out of hand through social media, and they made it worse than what it really was. So,
Right.
If this Rosemary girl really did get injured, as much as they say, because at first it was a broken arm, and then I heard that it was strained ligaments. Strained ligaments, you can do that, running on a treadmill,
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I don't even know her, and I don't know the situation. I know Sexy, so, all I can say is if Sexy got mad and hurt this girl, if this is true, there had to be something that triggered it.
Right.
I don't know what. So, I don't really have a place where I stand as far as, how everything went down, because none of us know,
Right.
but everybody
Exactly.
wants to point the finger and then paint her to be a bad person or a bad wrestler or whatever. All of a sudden now she is. Well, when she won the Lucha Underground title, she was the greatest person in the entire planet.
Exactly.
And then now, something happened in this match, or at least people are claiming something happened, and she's supposedly hurt this girl, and now she's the worst person in the world, and it's I'm just so sick of people being sheep and just following suit. No one can make their own opinion anymore. It's whatever they read, it's whatever headline it is, and it's oh, she's a bad person. Okay, well, she must be bad.
Yeah.
Why? Because this person said so.
Yep.
It's everyone's speaking out about her, but they don't know the situation. They don't know what's real and what's not.
Right.
Exactly.
So in my opinion, I don't even care. It doesn't affect me. You know what I mean? It's completely irrelevant as far as me
Right.
goes. As far as my thought and my theories on it. if she did it for real, if she really did it just because, okay, well then she was mad, she had a bad day, and she did it. Okay, and what?
Yeah.
So what? You know, and what? Like, what does that change in anyone's life? You know, now
You're
people
right.
want to jump on the bandwagon and try to be like, look how good of a person I am. I hate Sexy Starr. Why? Because 6 months ago you were loving Sexy Starr. You know what I mean? So who cares what they say? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We even said that when the news first hit, we said it on the show. We all agreed pretty much that you have to look at it from all different angles, you know. And Sexy Starr was loved for all these years, all these months, and everything, and then all of a sudden, everybody wants to blackball her. So we 100% agree with you. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Now, I got my last question for you. I know things are going very well for you at Lucha Underground. The main goal is always to be at WWE. Is that your goal? You sticking to that goal? Or are you just happy where you're at with Lucha Underground?
Well, I mean, so from my point of view, of course, you know, when you're a kid, you want to be a wrestler, all you know is WWE and stuff like that. I just feel like we're in a different time now, and let me rephrase that. We are in such a unique time now in pro wrestling where you can, you know, make a good living and not necessarily have to be in WWE. And as you get older, your values change. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I have a 3-year-old now, and I'm married. You know what I mean? Like, I just want my family to be taken care of, and the way I do that is through wrestling, through my job.
Right.
So I'm okay with that right now. You know what I mean? And I'm just I'm also a person that I'm not gonna quit something that I started.
Right.
You know, and I feel very attached and connected with Lucha Underground and everybody there, and I feel like that's my brand. It's definitely what's put me on the map. You know, I've wrestled all over the world, and you know, and CMLL, you know, and all these places, but you know, it's really given me the biggest platform I've ever had, at least in the United States. Like, so, you know, right now, I just love what I'm doing now and stuff like that. But, I mean, I think everyone's got to, at least at some point, try to go to WWE or would like to go to WWE. But I'm not even thinking that far ahead right now. Like, for me, I know, like, I'm in a good place. And could it be better? Sure. Could it be worse? Absolutely.
Yep.
You know, so you got to worry about what you have and not necessarily worry about what others have or what you don't have, you know, because then that's when you start to, you know, that's when you start having like negative thoughts and stuff like that, because I can always sit here and say, you know, well, my best friend's like CM Punk, Samoa Joe, you know, and boo-hoo for me because I'm not the WWE.
Right.
You know, I mean, what good is that going to do, right? Is that going to feed my son and, you know, buy him clothes? No. You know, I got to worry about what I got going on and do the best that I can, because people, you know, pay to have me at their events, and I'm you know, lucky enough to be booked as much as I am, and I just do good business with what I have, because that's what's in front of me. That's my job right now. Now, if ever someone else is paying me, then that'll be my job and my concern then. But I mean, as far as going to WWE, I mean, you know, sure, I would like to ride that wave at some point, but is it something I'm looking to do soon? Not necessarily. Nor am I not, you know, looking away from it either. But you know, I mean, right now I'm just kind of, you know, I love Lucha Underground. I feel that my characters, like, after that street fight, has kind of like climbed to another level. So I feel like
absolutely,
I'm kind of like, I'm definitely on another level. I feel that I can really excel and push myself, because honestly, since I started with Lucha Underground, I've only been in teams or, you know, multiple person type of thing, storylines. Now I'm finally all by myself. You know what I mean? Like I won the big blow off match. What's next? You know, season 3 will end, and honestly, season 4 could be, you know, based all around just me finally. You know, and then will take me almost 4 years to get to that point. So it's like I haven't been overused or, used too much. You know what I mean? It's not like I went to the top right off the bat. Now where do you go from the top to the bottom, right? Like there's nowhere else but down to go. So I haven't even touched that surface yet, so.
Well, Cortez, love having you on the show. Thank you for being here with us. Tell the listeners where they can find you on social media and where you'll be wrestling next.
Okay, social media, Facebook, just Ricky Reyes. My Twitter is at Ricky Reyes01, and Instagram just Ricky Reyes. This week, I think I'm in Georgia Premier Wrestling in Canton, Georgia, and Rossville. Friday night, wrestling Matt Cross, Son of Havoc, and Saturday, wrestling Kyle Matthews.
Nice.
And then
awesome.
Have some, so that'll be a good weekend. And then October 6th, 7th, and 8th, I got some Lucha shows, one in Brooklyn, one in upstate New York, and one in Norristown, Pennsylvania. Then the 14th, I'm in Dallas, Texas for North American Wrestling Alliance. That'll be like a huge show with like Talia, myself, Homicide, Davey Richards, just like a whole mess. Chavo Guerrero, just a whole mess of us are going to be out there in Texas. So just got stuff like that.
All right, well, thanks again, Cortez Castro, for being on the show. We will be right back after this pause for the cause.
Hey everybody, Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. Make sure to listen to the Wrestling POV podcast.
All right, and we are back. What an interview with Cortez Castro.
Right?
The guy is amazing.
He
I
is.
hope we get him back on the show at one point. I hope he plays the pay-per-view points game. But he's going to lose to me anyways. Doesn't matter. But it is now time for the top 10 rankings of the month of September. A couple weeks ago, Tony, you gave us a top 10 of, at number 10, Prince Puma. At number 9, Kenny Omega. At number 8, Samoa Joe. At number 7, The Miz. At number 6, Bobby Roode. At number 5, Okada. At number 4, Kevin Owens. At number 3, Cody Rhodes. At number 2, AJ Styles. And at number 1, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yep.
Well, as we heard on last week's episode, Todd Silver said, sucker, I'm taking out 2 of your picks. He took out Okada and Prince Puma and added in Braun Strowman and Finn Balor. And this is Todd Silver's top 10, in which he did. At number 10, Kenny Omega. Number 9, Bobby Roode. At number 8, he took your number 1, Shinsuke Nakamura, and put him at number 8.
Yep.
Number 7, your number 1, your number 2, AJ Styles. At number 6, Samoa Joe. At number 5, Kevin Owens. At number 4, his first replacement, Braun Strowman. At number 3, The Miz. At number 2, Cody Rhodes. And at number 1, his second replacement, Finn Balor. Damn.
And he caught a lot of heat for it. But the whole ranking system, like I said, is supposed to carry on from here on out. Next month, Rick Serrano III, he will have his top 10 for the month of October.
Yes.
And it basically should kind of transfer from the month of September. Obviously, if all of a sudden Samoa Joe is back for the next 2 weeks, that might influence Rick Serrano III to move him up in the rankings. I don't know. It's all up to him, though. And then of course, the week after that, I can change it, add 2 or take out 2. I don't have to. I can rearrange the whole order if I want to. But if I think it was okay, I'm going to stick with it. So now, Rick, what did you do for the month of September for the top 10 rankings system?
All right, well, let me just say this. It was kind of hard because we had Todd take out 2 guys that I feel like should be in the top 10, Okada and Prince Puma. Right. So I felt like I had to put them back in.
Okay.
But then I looked at Todd's additions in Braun Strowman and Finn Balor, and I'm like, they kind of do deserve to be in that top 10. So I did a little bit of taking out and putting in of my own.
Oh, okay.
So I just have to say, honorable mention, Marty Scurll, the villain from Ring of Honor. Honorable mention, not in the top 10, but absolutely, I see him as a future top 10 guy.
I can't disagree with you. I can't.
Yeah.
I agree.
And another honorable mention, John Cena. These promos, he's barely had any matches, but these promos have been spot on, like a spicy meatball. He's not in the top 10.
Bingo!
Without further ado, here is Rick Serrano III's top 10 rankings. At number 10, I put Finn Balor. So Todd Silver's number 1 has just dropped to number 10, and I tell you why. I feel like when Finn Balor returned, he went against Elias Sampson, and he has been against Bray Wyatt. I feel like the matches haven't been there. I do believe he belongs in the top 10, but I feel like he's not giving me everything. That's just my POV. If you gotta say something, fight me! At number 9, I put Braun Strowman. Again, Braun Strowman, this guy is powerful. He's definitely climbing the rankings. However, Roman, and Lesnar. That's all I've seen from Braun Strowman.
True. Yep.
So, again, I need more of that. I need more matches. Fight somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. Same thing.
Yeah.
At number 8, I put Bobby Roode. Now, Bobby Roode, great NXT champion, but since coming to SmackDown, has done nothing.
I agree.
So, that's why I leave him there. At number 7, Kenny Omega. Now, this rivalry he has with Okada is the best of the year. Best for a long time, I would say. Mm-hmm. But he's been injured the last couple of weeks. Yeah. So that's why I leave him at the 7th spot. You guys had him at 9, Tony, and Todd had him at 10. I still feel like he's a little bit better right now than Balor, Strowman, and Bobby Roode.
Oh, okay. Well, I had him that low only because of his injury, though. That's why.
Exactly. So. I get it.
But I get where you're coming from.
At number 6, I have...
God.
At number 6, I have The Miz, who has the best promo work in the business right now. Though few, his matches have been entertaining. So that's why I keep him at number 6. No. He's given relevance to the IC title.
And I agree with you there, but I'm kind of shocked you didn't put him up higher.
Well, because of the people ahead of him, I feel like it's just a lot better. Like, listen, I love The Miz. He is great, but I have to be smart about this. I have to be real. You know, I'm from Brooklyn, son. I gotta keep some real.
Well, see, the reason why I'm saying that is because if I would have done the rankings today, I would have moved him up in the rankings, to be honest. That's why I'm saying that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Any more interruptions?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
At number 5, Kazuchika Okada. Like I said, this rivalry with Kenny Omega has been amazing. I think the guy is great. The thing is with the New Japan guys, is they don't fight so often. Yeah. So you can't really put him up. I would love to put him at the number 1 spot. I think he's definitely worthy of that spot. But again, I don't see them fight as often.
Right.
But he beat Omega. They had that draw, the 6.25 rankings, the ratings, and then he lost his last match. But again, one of the best rivalries. At number 4, I put Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, again, if we're going by NXT, definitely number 1. Yeah. But because since he's come to SmackDown, he had a rivalry with Dolph and Jinder, hasn't really been seen a lot on the show. Right. So that's why I put him at number 4. At number 3, I have Cody Rhodes. His work right now at Ring of Honor and New Japan is bar none one of the best in the business. Yes. The guy is amazing.
I agree.
All right, this one's a little bit of shocker. At number 2, Prince Puma.
Wow.
This dude is phenomenal.
Wow.
He's phenomenal. He just won the Cueto Cup for Lucha Underground. My boy Cortez Castro agrees with me. You guys didn't hear that, but off the air, you know, me and my boy Cortez, we talk a lot. And he's like, yo, Prince Puma is bomb, dog. And I'm like, yo, he is bomb, dog. So at number 2, I got Prince Puma.
Wow.
I mean, he's worthy of it, man. The guy
he is bomb, though.
He's all business, you know what I'm saying? And at number 1, I have the United States champion, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles.
You know, I can definitely, I feel that one.
Okay.
Definitely.
Now, what's your reason behind putting him number one?
Because right now, the stuff he had with KO. Now, all right, let me just say who I replaced. I replaced Samoa Joe due to injury, and also he lost to Brock, and that fatal four-way, he was non-existent.
I agree.
I'm sorry if some people disagree with it. I mean, it's just...
But you're right, though, you know, and I was going to mention that, too. Like with Samoa Joe, if you would have lowered him or taken him off, then I would have agreed. You know what I'm saying? If you would have left him on but lowered his ranking more, I definitely would have agreed to that too. You know what I'm saying? Because when was the last time we've seen Samoa Joe? But you took him out, which, you know what? I have to agree with that too because he hasn't been around. You know, I'm sorry.
And the other guy I took out, now this one is Kevin Owens. I'm sorry. I think since... See,
that's a tricky one.
Now, my explanation for this is, since coming to SmackDown, we had the whole Face of America. Wasn't too pleased on that gimmick. He cheated most of his matches for the U.S. title.
He's a heel. He's supposed to cheat.
I get it, but it's just like, I feel like if you're going to be in the top 10, you got to put people out, you know?
Right.
And also this whole Shane thing. This whole Shane thing took up about a month. It's been going on back and forth. I don't like it. I think it's horrible. I know where they're going with it, but because of this past month, nothing has happened. I can't be a fortune teller. I can't say in the future he deserves to be in the top 10. So for me, Kevin Owens is out, but the reasoning for AJ Styles at number one is AJ is simply phenomenal. His matches with KO were great, but also he is SmackDown. He built that right now. That's his house. Yep. And the relevancy he puts on the U.S. title, just like John Cena did, is amazing. I love how he has a new match every week. He's giving Ty Dillinger, Baron Corbin chances at the title. Again, AJ Styles, simply phenomenal. That's my top 10.
And I agree with that. The only thing I have to disagree with is you took out Kevin Owens. I think he's on top of his game right now, and he's really building up to be that top heel in SmackDown. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, now I got to throw this out to you guys, because between myself, Todd, and Rick, we did not put in Jinder Mahal or Brock Lesnar. Why? Can you explain? Now, I'm going to tell you, with Brock, part-time, barely get to see him. So I just want people out there to understand, you people, I want y'all to understand that, you know, Brock does not belong on the top 10 if he hasn't wrestled.
Right.
You know, Rick just took out Samoa Joe because he's injured and he hasn't wrestled. So I agree with that. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I might disagree with Kevin Owens though.
But Rick, you put in John Cena, didn't you?
No, he didn't.
Oh, that was just an honorable
mention.
Okay.
Honorable mention.
Well, the thing is, also the other reason is I had no choice because I had to put two people in that I felt like were taken out. So unfairly, I don't think Okada or Prince Puma should have been taken out of the list.
Right.
So I only had two people I could put back in.
Oh, I see what
and
you're
honestly,
okay.
So it's like I really got stuck. So that's why I had to take Kevin out. I mean, Finn Balor, I feel like deserves to be in the top 10.
Okay.
Just not at number one. And so that's why it was the whole thing. Because otherwise, I would have kept Kevin in. But I had to put Okada and Prince Puma back in.
Right. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
But you know what, Tony? Screw off POV me. Because that's my POV. Damn it.
Alrighty. Top 10 between myself, Todd Silver, and Rick Serrano III. Now, I'm going to tell you, people, you do have input. Please put your opinions on my top 10, Todd's top 10, and Rick's top 10. Now, this is a ranking system, okay? And just like what Rick explained with Samoa Joe, he just been out of action for way too long, so that eliminated him from the top 10. We haven't seen anything. He hasn't done much. So just understand that. And just look at it.
It's not a favoritism thing.
No, it's not a favoritism at all, because if it was, right, Roman Reigns would have been in the top 10.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. That's true.
You know?
No, I get it.
So, you know, we have to look at it for what it is. And with The Miz, I agree. The Miz, I think, in this ranking, it fluctuated a little bit. But I honestly, like I said, if you would have put him up higher, I would have agreed with you too. You know, if you would have put him low, I would be like, hey, he's been having some good promos. Like, hey, I went all Italian. Hey, forget about it.
Anthony.
Yeah, don't ever call me that. I'm kidding. Just joshing. Who says that anymore? Just joshing. You ever heard that? No? All right, well, must be me. All right, all right, so that is the top 10. Like I said, please comment on our Facebook page at Wrestling POV, and of course our Instagram at Wrestling POV1, and our Twitter at Wrestling POV. Just put your comments on there. Tell us what you think. All right.
And also, I want to hear your voice when we put up. It's gonna be on our Facebook page. Who got the top 10 correct? I want you all to vote on me, Rich Reynolds III, because obviously I got it right. I mean, it's episode 87. I was born in 87. I mean, I'm the third wheel. I went third. I mean, come on. I mean, it's only natural, man. So, when you guys want to vote, make sure you vote for the third wheel, Rich Reynolds III. You can also vote for Tony Diaz or Ty Silver if you think that's better, if you want to give him a couple of votes. But yes. All right, people.
Well, Miguel's going next, right?
No, you don't. Next week it'll be up to the fans to decide. It's going to be the whole voting thing until October, until next month, and then Rick will have his top 10 for the month of October ranking system. So.
Yes. All right. Wrestling POV is affiliated with the Collar and Elbow brand. These shirts are amazing, people. Go to collarandelbowbrand.com, put in promo code WPOV, and you will get 10% off.
Dang. You know how much was 10%, Mimi?
It's less than...
It's less than...
11.
What the hell?
Oh.
All right, yeah. She caught me off guard. Yeah, whatever. All right, kind of ruined it.
I ruined it.
You ruined it. So you go away for a little while and then you just come back.
Because my mind isn't reading English and comprehension and,
What the hell was that?
All right, yeah.
Jesus. What the hell?
Respect the breakdown.
Alrighty. What the hell? See, Amy still wants it.
And this is why we went to the recording.
Oh, man. Wow.
Alright. So SmackDown opens up with Shane McMahon, and he condemns Kevin Owens to hell in a cell. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially since Vince said they were going to be fighting in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, I said last week.
I know,
Oh, baby, how I missed you. All right, next up, we got Randy Orton versus Aiden English. Guys, I think this was Aiden English's best in-ring performance.
I agree.
Today, I thought it was great. I'm hoping he gets a push. I even told you, Tony, I would love to see Aiden English answer the U.S. Open Challenge. I think him and AJ
I think that'll be next. I think that'll be after Hell in a Cell. I really, if they keep pushing them the way they are. So.
I hope to see it. All right,
I agree.
Randy Orton ended up hitting an RKO out of nowhere, which was pretty entertaining, and Randy Orton won. After that, Rusev came out and said he was embarrassed and he wants another match with Orton. Orton agrees, and thanks to an Aiden English distraction, Rusev picks up the quick 10-second win.
Wow.
It was a 9.5 second win.
Wow, all right. Wow, I got the stopwatch ready.
Really?
Yes, I did.
What?
All right.
Jesus.
So we're gonna see Rusev versus Orton at Hell in a Cell? Really?
Yeah.
Like, really? I don't want to see that.
Yeah. No.
He needed to.
Yeah. Nope. Sorry.
Bummer.
Nope.
Yeah. Next up, we had another Jinder Mahal promo. Now, this promo, man, yo. Jinder says to the fans, your prejudice is all Nakamura has to look forward to. Then Jinder said Nakamura's face looks the same. Then he said he called him Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
And then the crowd even chanted, that's too far.
Now, before you keep going, wait a minute. Why is that going too far by him calling him Mr. Miyagi?
Well,
That was hilarious. That was gold. That was comedian gold. Serious.
you know, these millennials nowadays, they're very sensitive.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Oh, holy!
they're sensitive with every little inappropriate innuendos or whatever you may call it that you put out there.
What's the
And the
big
only
idea?
As the only millennial on this show, I just have to say that it's not that we're sensitive, it's that we understand how far we have come to succumb to racial jokes. Now, I love racial jokes.
I love
don't
racial
tell it
jokes.
on air. I don't say it on the air. I don't say it live on SmackDown Live. Now, here's the thing. Again, the Attitude Era, Bobby the Brain Heenan, we've went through this already.
Mm-hmm.
But now, since WWE wants to be PG, then maybe you should keep it PG or just be rated R. You know, keep it TV-14.
No.
Choose which one you want to do.
But look at what the past few weeks has been going through. You know, the segments with John Cena and Roman Reigns are swearing up a storm. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This was bound to happen. You got Vince McMahon bleeding on live television. You know what I'm saying? Showing the blood too. Normally they'll shy away from that because they want to stay PG. They want to stay away from that. Stay PG. But they're not. I'm flaring my arms like I don't know why. Rick's imitating me. But you know what I'm saying? So now it's like maybe they are trying to get edgier. Because look what's happening. We're talking about it now. Do I think it's funny? I think it was hilarious. That was funny.
I can handle the Mr. Miyagi thing. The whole Rook's the same. I was just like,
I would have said that.
say that.
I would have said
I would have said the whole Rook the same, but not the Mr. Miyagi part.
Like I said, my thing is this is wrestling, folks. This is wrestling. And I get what you're saying, right? You know, they were trying to keep it PG, which I understand, but at the same time, it looks like the ratings was going down since they've been on a PG set rating. Okay? But they only did that, why? Because of sponsors and this and that. That's the only reason why.
They did it because Mrs. McMahon was going for Congress.
That was a long time ago, but now it's all about the sponsorship. Okay? People paying for airtime during their shows. So they have to, calm it down a little bit. But then I think now Vince is like, you know what? I'm starting to lose money here, guys. Sorry, I gotta have it a little bit edgier, man. I gotta take it a little bit further. Because look what's happening. Everybody is talking about it. Whether they got upset because he called him Mr. Miyagi, or they got upset because he said Rook. I mean that's all I gotta say.
WWE has issued an apology, and they do not show it on the recap of SmackDown. They took it off.
Yeah,
so somebody did get upset.
Yeah.
But that's what it is, man. So moving on, that Jinder is funny.
Jesus Christ. Aren't you glad she's back today?
John Silver, you have never been missed as much as you are right now. Jinder is funny, but not as funny when he wins at Hell in a Cell. We then had AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin. That match does not get underway as Ty Dillinger attacks Corbin.
Yeah,
I'm guessing triple threat.
Oh yeah, that's what's going to end up happening, but that's a different side of Ty Dillinger. Holy cow.
Yeah. It's good to see. I mean,
but you know what? I was just about to say that, but it's good to see. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. New Day versus the Hype Bros. New Day wins, obviously. The Hype Bros say they will do something drastic.
Yeah.
So I guess they're not splitting up.
They might turn heel though, but I'd go with it. I'd run with it. Yeah, sure.
I wouldn't. Yeah, they should turn right outside the door. That's about it.
Yeah, I agree with Rick on that.
And then when they open up the door, bring back the colons.
The colons. The colons not coming back though.
I heard they are. That was one of my rumors for today, but I didn't want to say it, but I said it now.
All right.
Alrighty then.
That's right.
Next up, Kevin Owens says that Shane may condemn him to hell, but what he does at Hell in a Cell will not condemn him to hell. He will go to heaven. So Kevin Owens just admitted to committing murder. Pre-something murder.
Premeditated.
Premeditated murder.
Damn it, millennials.
All right.
Whatever they're called.
Millennials.
Go ahead.
Okay, Generation X, break it down.
That's right. Suck it.
Jesus Christ.
Guys, the AARP's having a sale.
They are?
Yeah. You better go sign up.
I know. Good. 5 more years.
All right, Dolph Ziggler is mocking entrances again. Waste of time.
You know what? You know what entrance?
Waste.
You know what entrance he needs to mock? His own.
He needs to. You know what he needs to do? He needs to entrance his way out the door.
Where are they going with this?
Nowhere.
Ridiculous.
I don't know.
Ridiculous.
That's your boy, Rick.
Oh, damn.
No, not anymore. Not since I ripped my shirt.
He's still your boy, Dolph.
Speaking of which, if you want to know why I ripped my shirt, you can look at past episodes on iTunes just by subscribing at Wrestling POV. Also, leave a 5-star rating and a comment. I mean, come on, guys. Do it.
Leave a comment. Do it now. Right now.
Okay.
Right?
All right, so the main event of SmackDown, we had Charlotte versus Becky versus Naomi versus Tamina. What? New number 1 contender. No entrances for Tamina.
I know, right?
Barely anything for Becky. But we had to see the glow. We had to see the glow. And definitely we had to see Charlotte, because Charlotte, who said she wishes her dad dead last year, all of a sudden this year says how much she appreciates him.
Yeah.
So, all right, little mess up there for WWE, don't you think?
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Why you never wish it?
Well, yeah. It's true.
Yeah, you're right.
Even joking around.
Use right. Use is right. Use is right.
Use right.
I want that in writing.
But now, did you guys notice that there was no Carmella? Is the WWE listening to our show? Or they're listening to me?
I think they are. Yeah. Yeah. Al Pacino.
Are they listening to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
You looking at me?
Yeah.
You looking at me?
Are you talking to me?
No Carmella, so I think that's a good thing.
That is a good
but
thing.
Charlotte ended up winning. She's the new number 1 contender. Thoughts?
Yeah. Honestly, it was predictable. To me, it was predictable.
Yes.
I just looked at it and I was like, "Oh, Charlotte's winning."
Yep.
We haven't seen her in a while. The tragedy that happened to Ric Flair, it was kind of like, bringing the Flair name back out there and stuff. So yeah, no, it was predictable, but a good match. It was a good match.
It was a good match.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that is it for SmackDown. It is now time for Raw versus SmackDown, where Raw is up 14-9.
Yes. Our
fans voted on Twitter every week after Tuesday night SmackDown Live. We put up a Twitter poll for you guys to vote for. You go on our Twitter page at Wrestling POV and you cast your vote. And we look at it and we say, maybe the fans were right. Maybe I should vote for SmackDown this week. Or maybe they were right. I should vote for Raw this week. Right. We take your thoughts and we're like, let's think about it, huh? So this week, the votes went to 60% for SmackDown Live.
Wow,
Let that marinate. Mimi, you have returned. So, what do you vote, Raw or SmackDown?
I have to say that I agree with the fans, and I'm going to go with SmackDown.
Wow. Alrighty. Rick, who are you going for this week?
Well, since I had a rant on Rick's rants on our Facebook page, Instagram, and Twitter. You can check it out every week, where I have a rant about things I don't like, and there's a lot of things I don't like. For example, this past Monday night on Raw, what the hell? Monday Night Raw was only a recap.
Yes.
A recap. Roman Reigns trying to kill Cena, but you were wrong, bro, because you can't do your job. Jason Jordan, #1 contender.
Yes.
Bailey thrown into the mix.
Bailey thrown in the mix. Kurt Hawkins versus Apollo Crews for no damn reason. Dustin Reynolds wearing wearing all this stuff but no makeup.
I know.
I'm going with SmackDown this week. Raw, take your recap and your go-home show and shove it.
Now, honestly, I mean, my thing is, I was on the fence on it, so I'm glad I didn't go today. I thought they were both equally bad. The only thing I enjoyed was just the match with the ladies for the #1 contender. That was the only thing I enjoyed about SmackDown. Raw, like you said, Rick, it was nothing but recaps, and it was like, oh boy. But I was still on the fence, though. I didn't know which one was equally bad, so.
So SmackDown is now have 10, so they are down 14-10. Don't call it a comeback.
Yep.
SmackDown is making its way up.
Yes, don't call it a comeback, suck a butt. Alrighty, it is time for the WWE No Mercy pay-per-view points game. You're gonna win it. Alright, so now just a quick recap on how to play. Each match is worth a certain amount of points. The only matches that are worth 10 points is the heavyweight title match and the women's match for this pay-per-view, WWE No Mercy. So there's 7 matches altogether. The rest of the matches are only 5 points. And basically what it is, so let's just say Enzo versus Neville, and you feel that Neville's going to win, but you're not sure. You wouldn't want to bet your whole 5 points. Go 2, 1, 3. It's up to you. It's all about a confidence level on this point system. So you have to remember, if you win, you get those points. But if you lose, you don't get those points and they get subtracted from your total. You could be in the negative, and people believe me. I know what it's like to stay in the negative.
Mr. Tony, should the people be listening to you, or should they be listening to Mr. Rick, a 2-time champion?
That's messed up.
Oh, he's such a...
You still want a job?
He's such a kisser.
So basically, like I said, if you get the points right, you get the. If you get the match right, you get the points. And if you don't get the match, you don't get the points, but they get subtracted from your total. You lose those points, and at the end of the pay-per-view, we can crown a new champion, a new wrestling POV champion. Who will it be? The belt's been all across the world already. All across the world.
I don't know.
What other podcast can say that? None.
True.
All right? We're ready to play?
Yes.
Yes,
All righty. Rick, we're going to start it off with you. The very first, now this is not in order. I just want you guys to understand. Oh, yeah, and that's right. If there is another match before the pay-per-view starts, we will submit our matches. Myself, Rick, and Mimi Goody will throw our picks in and our points for that, and just make sure you guys try to follow up with that too. Because if you don't put it in, you ain't gonna get those points. That'll suck for you. Right now, all I got is 7 matches on the card. If they do add, like I said, we're gonna post it on our Facebook page, and we take it from there. All right, let's get ready. All right, the first match, it is, like I said, there's no particular order. We're going to go with the WWE Cruiserweight Champion Neville versus Enzo Amore. This is only 5 points. Rick, who do you got on this one?
I have, for 5 points, Enzo Amore.
Wow, really?
And I tell you why?
Tell me why.
Because Enzo has been fighting dirty and all this stuff, and on 205 Live, Neville got kicked in the nuts by Enzo, so Neville's going to return the favor and get disqualified. Enzo's going to win by DQ. 5 points. Booyah!
You got 5 points?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Well, I kind of agree. This one I did have a hard time with because it's just, they put Enzo in there for a reason. Because of his mouth. 205 Live has been declining. So with him being in there, they were hoping to kind of boost it up a little bit. So now, but I wasn't sure though. So I did went with Enzo. I only went 2 points, and it's only because I'm not sure. I really not. But if Enzo doesn't win, where does he go from here? You know what I'm saying?
Out the door.
Out the door. Yeah, that's right. All right, Mimi Goody, who you got?
Well,
Alrighty.
there is no theory to me. I'm picking Neville.
Okay.
4 points because I like Neville more than I like Enzo.
I think a lot of people do.
So that is the only reason why. I don't
Alright.
watch 205 Live. I don't care for that. But I do think that Neville should win it.
Alrighty.
So you're on the Neville level?
Yes.
She's on another level. Nothing. I don't get anything.
Too late
Right?
now.
All right. So up next we got Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. 5 points. I'm going with Finn for 3 points. Only because they gotta end this feud, but they cannot have Finn Balor lose. They can't go with this angle where he can only win matches when he puts the war paint on. They can't do that. I'm sorry. So I'm going with Finn Balor 3 points. Mimi Goody, what do you got?
I'm going with Finn Balor 5 points.
Nice. Any reason or just
It was a hard one because I like
Really?
them both.
okay?
You know, and I think, Bray Wyatt deserves to win, but the Demon can't lose.
Okay. Alrighty. Rick Serrano III. Who you got on this one?
I'm gonna go with Finn Balor 3 points. Also, I don't care about this much. They haven't done anything much for me to really care much for it. It was difficult to pick though. I honestly think Bray does have a chance to win, but I'm going with Finn.
All right, I agree. I agree with you there. All right, up next, it's for the Raw Tag Team Championship. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose versus Cesaro and Sheamus. This is only 5 points. Mimi Goody, who you picking on this one?
Well, I'm picking Cesaro and Sheamus.
Really? New tag champs?
Yep,
Oh,
5
wow.
points.
5 points. Wow. Go ahead, Rick.
I am going with Seth and Dean 3 points. There's no way they can take the belts off of them to give it to the Bar. I think it's gonna stay with Seth and Dean.
It's true. I think they need to go somewhere else with this. They got to stay away from the Cesaro and Sheamus thing. It's just overdone. I'm done with it. My pick is Seth and Dean, 4 points.
Also, Sheamus has to film a movie. Just saying.
Ooh, just saying.
All right.
He's just saying. All right, up next is for the Raw Women's Championship. This one is for 10 points. It is Alexa Bliss, the champion, versus Sasha Banks, Bayley, Nia Jax, and Emma. Rick, who you got on this one? 10-pointer.
I'm going 6 points for Emma.
Get out of here. Are you serious?
Yes.
Serious?
Wow.
Oh my god. I really feel like Emma's gonna win. I don't know.
You know what? That's very, very interesting. But stupid.
How many Wrestling POV championships do you have, Tony?
I'm getting there.
Oh, 0.
All right, my pick for this one, I think Alexa is going to retain. I'm going to 8 points with it. I think the only reason why they put Emma in this match is they needed a fall guy. They're not going to have Nia Jax do it. They're not going to have Bayley do it. They're not going to have Sasha Banks do it. They're going to have Emma do it. I'm telling you, that's what's going to end up happening. So I'm going with Alexa Bliss. She's going to retain her title. 8 points. Mimi Goody, what do you got?
Well, I, been watching, what's her name? Asuka's little promo, your vignettes, whatever you want to call it. And she's coming to Raw.
Yeah, I know that. I think we all know that.
Yeah. So, it's, for me, it's like, okay, she's going to come into Raw. Who's she going to fight?
Okay.
Why not give her competition? Nia Jax, 6 points.
Damn, Nia Jax, really?
I'm glad that Mimi said that because that makes me more confident on it because who can Asuka take the belt from?
Oh, that's true.
On the first night on Raw.
She could take it from Nia Jax, too. Because she's beating Nia.
That's a WrestleMania match, Mimi. That's a WrestleMania match,
Okay,
Mimi.
all right. Jeez.
All right.
Don't bust some
Yeah,
blood vessels
intensity.
sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Jeez, relax.
All right, so up next is John Cena versus Roman Reigns. John's got way too much on his plate. I'm going with Roman, 5 points. Yeah, I know. Mimi Goody, you're up. Who do you got?
You know, I like Roman, but John is gonna fucking. I'm sorry.
Well, we're ready. It don't matter now. We changed it because of your ass.
Bingo!
John is gonna smash him, and I'm going for John Cena, 5 points.
Wow. All right, guys. Rick.
John Cena, 3 points. Yo, John Cena, I hated him for the longest time. And now I'm about to order me a John Cena shirt.
Jeez.
Oh, I got one already.
Wow.
Can't see this, Roman.
Who you going? John Cena, how many points? 3?
3 points.
3.
All right. Okay. So up next is for the IC belt, the Intercontinental Championship. The Miz versus Jason Jordan. Mimi, who you got on this one?
Well, you know, The Miz has been on a roll.
Yes.
And The Miz, 5 points.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. All right. Go ahead, Rick. Who do you got on this one?
Competence and that
If
You're
anybody,
competent?
if anybody picks Jason Jordan, and I mean, what are you thinking? If you pick Jason Jordan, I'm going The Miz, 5 points.
All right. You know what? You'd be surprised, though. You'd be
Yeah, because somebody's
surprised.
gonna pick him right now.
There's going to be somebody. No.
Or Cousin Jay.
It'll be Cousin Jay.
Cousin Jay. He always picks the underdog.
It's true. That is true. That's a Cousin Jay pick. So
Yeah, he has more wins than Tony, though.
shut up. Jesus. Mofos. All right, I'm picking The Miz, damn it. But I'm only going 2 points. The reason why I'm only going 2 points is because I don't know. They might give it to Jason Jordan. Just to piss people off.
And I'll stop watching Raw.
No, you will not. But it's just that, they doing that just to piss people off. And they want to see that feud continue with Jason Jordan.
No.
Yes, I'm telling you. You watch. That's what's going to end up happening.
It's so fucking boring.
All right, the last match is for the Universal Championship. Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman. This is a 10-pointer, people. 10 points. Rick, who are you picking?
This was the hardest one for me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna go 6 points, and I'm gonna go with Braun.
Really?
I
New champion?
really struggle with this one.
You know what? I did too, and I'm trying to look ahead, and I know they still want to have this thing with Roman and Brock again, and they want the title on the line. I think I'm going with Brock. I'm going 7 points. That's what I'm going with. I think they want to keep it on him just because we got Survivor Series coming up. We got the Royal Rumble after that. I mean, it's technically not too far away in their eyes. That's how they see it. So, Mimi, who you got on this one?
Well, Brock Lesnar sucks big hairy balls.
Jesus.
And I would prefer to see the fight between Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns.
Again?
Yeah. Right. Well, it's the same thing. Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns again.
Yeah.
You know? At least Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns have a better vessel fight. So I'm picking Braun Strowman 9 points.
Rick? Wow.
I'm going big.
I see that.
Go big or go home.
Go big or go home.
Oh, you're going home, all right.
All right, that is it. That is your WWE No Mercy pay-per-view points game. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
But stupid.
No, because I'm going to be champion, damn it.
You're stupid.
I psyched everybody out in the video, so.
You're stupid.
Yeah, no.
You'll be the champion of the negatives.
Wait a second. Speaking of champion, our very own champion, Elio Canella, has sent me a message, and his message says, I've got the gold sitting right here on my shoulder, and this Sunday night, there will be no retreat, no surrender, there will be no mercy. I walk in as champion, and I walk out as champion. What? Oh!
You want a piece of me? Because I'm pretty sick of your damn mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, it is.
Not gonna happen.
Well,
I'm winning.
You're right, Tony. It's not going to happen, and I'll tell you why. Because the third wheel, Rick Serrano III, will be adding a third title reign. Remember, I am the first ever Wrestling POV champion, the first ever multiple-time Wrestling POV champion. I picked 3 matches, and I put 3 points on those 3 matches. I'm going to have the third title reign. Third is the word. The third wheel, Rick Serrano III.
It's not gonna happen.
Bill 38 last, huh?
Lads. Not lass.
Lads. Lassie.
Listen.
Lassie. Oh, Lord.
The 38 lads are walking out with the belts.
Not gonna happen.
It's probably going to be me, though.
It's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Sorry. With that being said, that is the end of our show. Make sure you play, and of course, you have to like the Wrestling POV Facebook page in order to qualify to win. In order to qualify to win, you have to like the page and post your picks up on our page. So that is the show for today. I'm your host, Tony Diaz, along with
Mimi Goody.
and the third wheel,
Rick Serrano III.
and our intern.
Miguel Cole. Adios.
Love, peace, and wrestling. We will see you next week.
Peace out.
Good night, everybody!
Okay, so is it time for me to make my picks? Because remember, you guys said last week I get to put in my picks for the Wrestling POV Podcast Pay-Per-View Points game. Okay, so here's my first pick.